Toro Field at Red Haddocks Stadium here. Battle of Bloomington, our first baseball broadcast. It is a chilly Tuesday, but we are just about ready to go. The visiting Jaguars and the home-standing Kennedy Eagles about to renew the baseball rivalry after a full year off. These teams last played in 2019, but baseball and spring sports are back on BEC-TV, and we are certainly glad to be here bringing it to you alongside our crew. Josh Powers on hand. As you see the Kennedy starters being announced, Jefferson starters already out there. This is the first game of the season for Jefferson. Second game for Kennedy. They fell in their opener earlier this week. Two teams that were very competitive back the last time baseball was played at the Minnesota State High School League level. In 2019, Jefferson finished 8-6 in the Metro West, 11-7 overall. Kennedy was 11-8 overall, but 8-4 in the Metro West. They had the most victories in the Metro West at Kennedy the last full season 2 years ago. Kennedy in the white, Jefferson in the Columbia blue. Will Scott is the pitcher for Kennedy warming up right now. So we are about ready to get this one started. Jefferson, their lineup. Bennett McCullough will lead off, then Carter Hansen, David Steffen, and Ben Getters. Followed by the pitchers Sam Malika, Noah Pinette, then Sean Littman, Alex Cruson, the pitcher, and then Blake Wanmacher will bat ninth for Jefferson. There's Will Scott for Kennedy. Seven innings here in the Minnesota State High School League rules, just to get you up to speed. Could be some flurries here as well. A little bit of snow in the Twin Cities area falling this afternoon. But these teams just glad to be playing here. Limited fans, of course, here at this beautiful facility here in the east side of Bloomington. So Bennett McCullough for Jefferson will lead things off. Again, followed by Carter Hansen and David Steffen. Bennett McCullough is the shortstop for Jefferson. Carter Hansen at third base. David Steffen, the second baseman. So the baseball season about ready to get underway, at least for Jefferson. Kennedy already with one in the books, but season starting the right way. It's a Battle of Bloomington underway and a swing and a miss for McCullough to start things here in the top half of the first against Will Scott, the righty. And second pitch low and in, 1-1. These teams played twice back in 2019. Kennedy won both, so it's been a while for Jefferson tasting victory in this rivalry. Kennedy won those two games 8-4, and then here at Red Haddocks 3-1. Back in 2019, curveball, a little short. Kennedy catcher Gage Schmidt back behind the plate. And there's Gage in front of the home plate umpire. 2-1 pitch, inside 3-1. Any way you can get players on base, especially at the cold temperatures today, ball's not going to travel nearly as far as it might a month from now. Or maybe with the weather we had a couple weeks ago when the temperatures were in the 70s or even low 80s. Certainly not the case here. Mid-30s at best here this afternoon. 3-1 right down the middle. Around the outfield for Kennedy, left field, Henry Ambori, center fielder Cole Hauk, and the right fielder Ryan Fortner for the Eagles. And low and inside, so a walk to McCullough. Bring up Carter Hansen, the quarterback on the football field this fall for Jefferson. He'll play third base today, at least start out at third base. Correction, first base. Apologies there. And outside, so Scott in a little bit of trouble early with that walk. Now behind in the count to Carter Hansen. The infield for Kennedy, Sam Nicholson, third base. Shortstop, Nick Manning. Second baseman, Will Vogel. First baseman, Brett Conway. And the 1-0 with the runner going. Slap foul and out of play by Hansen. So Coach Guess getting a runner going early for Jefferson. Does not appear that Hansen will sacrifice here. At least not in the first two pitches. Big lead over at first for McCullough. He'll stay there, and the 1-1 swung on and missed. 1-2, good outside location there from Will Scott. Took a little bit off of that one as well. Got Carter Hansen out front. So now 1-2 to Hansen. Runner going again, swung on and missed. Strike three, throw down to second, not in time. So a stolen base for McCullough, but a strikeout. First of the game for Will Scott, and one down in the top half of the first. So a nice out there for Scott, although the runner, McCullough, able to move up. Quickly out to the mound, Schmidt, just to check on Scott. So the new Jefferson batter, David Steffen, the second baseman. And the pitch in there for a strike. So Scott ahead for the first time. Good speed at second in McCullough. Already seen that with the stolen base, so should be able to score on a hit to the outfield. And throw down a second, and they've got him! McCullough picked off. He took a step toward third, and that cost him, as Will Scott was attentive and in plenty of time. No doubt about this one. The throw there, trying to do a little bit of a trick slide, McCullough, but second baseman Will Vogel was right there for the tag, and now a hit out to left. So that really hurts Jefferson, as McCullough very well might have been able to score on that single. So now two out, one on for Benny Getters. He's the catcher for Jefferson. And swung down to third. Up with it, Nicholson. Oh, he lets it go by him, actually. It's an error on Nicholson as it gets by him. So Getter's on with a E5. So now 2 on and 2 out for Malika.
Number 1, Sam Malika.
That one got by Nicholson, so now that pickoff at second really looming large. Malika up and Pinette on deck. 2 on, 2 out. Scott delivers outside for a ball. And that one gets by the catcher Schmidt, and both runners move up. So things get a little bit dicier here for Kennedy in the top half of the first. 2 runners in scoring position now for Malika. And that one upstairs. 3-0 now with Pinette on deck. And a 4-pitch, outside corner apparently. A generous 3-0 strike. Makes it 3-1. So maybe that'll help out Scott. Still a hitter's count for Malika. We'll see what he does with the 3-1. That one definitely outside. So they're loaded up. 2 walks, a hit, a strikeout, a pickoff, and an error in this inning. And they're loaded with 2 outs. Noah Pinette, third baseman. And up and in. Sean Littman on deck. That one down the middle, 1-1. Kennedy probably feels they should have been out of this inning. A slow roller to Nicholson for the error. And we'll see if that error will come back to bite the Eagles here. With them loaded, 1-1 the count. Pinette swings and lifts it down the right field side, and an easy put away there for Conway. So Kennedy out of the jam. No runs, 2 hits, an error, 1 hit, 2 walks, an error. And Jefferson leaves them loaded in the top half of the first. We'll go to the bottom half of the first here in the Battle of Bloomington, scoreless. Back here, bottom half of the first, scoreless. Toro Field at Red Haddock Stadium. Josh Powers alongside our crew. First chance for Kennedy at bat here in this 7-inning game. Eagles 0-1 this year. Jefferson first game of their season here. Kennedy losing to Simley 17-3 back on Saturday. So not the best of start for Kennedy, trying to make amends here. Now a 1-1 count to Kennedy's leadoff man, Nick Manning, facing Alex Cruson, the Jefferson pitcher. It'll be Manning followed by Cole Hauk and Brett Conway in the Kennedy first, and fouled straight back into the net, 1-2. Conway followed by the pitcher Will Scott, then Sam Nicholson, Will Vogel, Henry Ombori, Ryan Fortner, and Gage Schmidt, the lineup for Kennedy here. Cruson on a 1-2 count, working ahead. That one upstairs though, 2-2. Benny Getters, the catcher for Jefferson. Two to the shortstop Manning, up and in, 3-2. Jefferson started its first with a walk. Manning sends this one into relatively deep center field, but there for the catch is Malika for the out. So one away in the Kennedy first. And Cole Hauk, the left-handed batter for Kennedy. And right down the middle.
What?
1-1 now. Around the Jefferson outfield and left is Blake Wandmacher. In center field, we just saw Malika record the out, and the right fielder, Sean Littman. Two and one, swung on and missed by Hauk, so 2-2. Jefferson infield, Noah Panett at third, Bennett McCullough shortstop, David Steffen second base, Carter Hansen first base. Two to Hauk. Strike three called. Good low location there from Cruson to get the strikeout looking. And the first strikeout for Cruson. Watch this location. Low, right at the knees, right down the middle. Good call, strike three. And now Conway for Kennedy. Going inside, 1-0. Conway, the first baseman, followed by the pitcher Will Scott.
Right, here we go.
Swung on and missed on the fastball from Cruson. Throwing some heat here early for Jefferson. A little low, 2-1. Jefferson's first game of the year here. These teams will play again on May 3rd. That'll be over at Dred Scott for Jefferson's home game. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Just a handful of teams have played a game here so far in the Metro West. Kennedy 0-1, as well as St. Louis Park. Chaska 1-0 here early on in the season. We mentioned both these teams right at the top of the Metro West in 2019, both finishing with 8 wins. Chanhassen had the best winning percentage at 7-3, but Kennedy and Jefferson not far behind. Jefferson won a couple of games in section play that year before falling to Eden Prairie. 2-2, or 3-2, excuse me, and a walk issued to Conway. So Kennedy gets its first runner on base. And now the cleanup man, the pitcher, Will Scott. Medium-sized lead over at first there for Conway as that's taken low for a ball. Extra base hits figured to be tough to come by in this one. Temperatures here in the mid-30s. 1-0 on the outer edge, 1-1. Jefferson had all sorts of opportunities in its top half of the first, trying to get a little bit of an easier out. Here in the Kennedy side, grounded toward third, up with it, Pinette over to first. And the Kennedy side is retired. No runs, no hit, 1 left. We go to the top of the second. Scoreless still in the Battle of Bloomington. Back for the top half of the second, still scoreless here in the Battle of Bloomington. Visiting team Jefferson up for the second time. The 7, 8, and 9 coming up for the Jaguars. Littman, Cruson, and Wanmacher. As the Jaguars left them loaded in the top half of the first. Only had 1 hit, but couple of walks and an error. Kennedy got out of it unscathed, and sometimes that's what you need as a starting pitcher to get through that first inning. We'll see how the second inning goes for Will Scott. It starts out pretty nicely with a swing and a miss by Sean Littman. Breaking ball for Scott, misses low. Baseball season getting started here for Jefferson. Kennedy played on Saturday. I was also here at Red Haddocks. Toro Field. Great facility for baseball, renovated a few years ago. Terrific place to take in a high school baseball game. Three and one now to Littman, so the control problems for Scott popping up again. He had 2 walks back in the first. See some flurries coming down, nothing major, it's not going to stick. But some elements the teams will have to deal with here is another walk issued, 3rd of the game. So Jefferson gets the leadoff man on again. Remember last inning, it was McCullough who got picked off of second after he stole second. So now Alex Cruson, the pitcher, can help out his own cause here, as they say. Jefferson just 1 ball hit out of the infield back in the first. As a bunt was shown but not offered at by Cruson, and it's low for a ball. We'll see if Cruson offers again here. 8th hitter. Usually a spot where you'd see a sacrifice, perhaps in a close game. The swing away this time, lifted into pretty deep left field. Back for it on Bori, and it's over his head. But having to hold up there, now they're going to try for third and nobody there. This is going to go maybe into the dugout. Holding up at third was runner Littman, so it's a double for Cruson. And our first extra base hit delivered by the Jaguars. I was going to say Littman had to hold up. Not sure whether Bori was going to make that catch, but he was aggressive, and that caught Kennedy off guard as Nicholson was off the third base bag. Would have been interesting had he been there for the throw. Could have been a close play, but Jefferson takes advantage. I believe that will be scored a double there for Cruson. Would be a pretty tough error for Bori, but now 2 on, nobody out for Wanmacher. And he'll offer down the third base line. The runner at third holds the throw to first. Not in time, and Wanmacher with a bunt single. So an interesting play to sacrifice because none of the runners were going to move up. That was just a straight bunt for a single by Wanmacher. And now Jefferson has them loaded again, this time though with nobody out in the second. And it's the top of the order in McCullough, who walked last inning. The flurries in front of the Kennedy bench and George Walker, they're getting a little bit more prevalent here in the second, but what a spot for Jefferson to try to take the lead. McCullough ripped it down the third base line, just foul. He was all over that fastball. Umpires left to do their best there down the line, but that one's clearly foul. Kennedy infield regular depth here. They'll give up a run to get an out, or maybe 2 if they can squeeze out a double play, although McCullough certainly runs well. 1 and 1. We also got some speed over at first in Blake Wanmacher. This one lifted high and deep to left field. Bori going back to the wall. It is gone! A grand slam for Bennett McCullough. How about those fireworks here in the Battle of Bloomington? In the snow, Bennett McCullough with a grand slam. And Jefferson, 4-0 in the blink of an eye as McCullough laid into this one. Bori just kept going back. What a feeling for McCullough. Got picked off of second last inning, probably cost at least Jefferson one run, if not more. Certainly made up for it there with that grand slam. And Carter Hansen, how do you follow that? Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. So give Jefferson credit, starting to hit Scott here through the second time in the order. You saw that double, actually that was the first time through the order for Crusan, but McCullough laying into that home run. Carter Hansen, the first baseman here for Jefferson. Down the middle, 1-2. Important here for Scott to bounce back. Still a ton of game left for Kennedy. And 2-2. What a moment there for McCullough. The rarest of home runs coming in a battle of Bloomington. That's why we're so glad to have spring sports. We started back in the fall, allowing these boys and girls to make memories here on the field. 3-2 count again for Scott, and Schmidt's gonna go check on the Kennedy pitcher here. Jefferson stranding 3 back in the first inning, but not reliving that same fate here in the second. Important pitch here for Kennedy, needing to get the first out here in the second inning. Scott delivers on the 3-2, but it's outside. So the fourth walk issued by Scott. Home run was the fourth Jefferson hit. They've also had 4 walks and an error. So Kennedy needs to get things cleaned up a bit here in the second inning. That one low, or that one in there for a strike. The first one low for the ball 1 on the second pitch to David Steffen. There goes Hansen trying to steal second, the throw down, not in time. So the second stolen base for the Jaguars. This time Carter Hansen. We've seen his wheels as the quarterback, a pretty mobile guy for Jefferson in the fall, and certainly showing that there with that stolen base. So now he's in scoring position, still no outs, 1-2. The count to Steffen. Grounded to third, just foul. That did not miss the bag by much, but did trickle foul past Nicholson. So still 1-2. Still nobody out in the second. Littman started with a base on balls, then Crusan doubled to left. Wanmacher bunt singled on the third baseline. You had the grand slam by McCullough and the walk and stolen base to Carter Hansen. 1-2, grounded to short. Manning up with it, and the throw over to first. Good stretch by Brett Conway to get the out.
Number 10, Ben Getters.
So that'll bring up Getters with 1 away in the Jaguars' second. Good stretch over there by Conway. Held it enough for that official to make sure he saw Conway's foot on the bag. No throws are easy with the snow and a little bit of wind. It's not a massive breeze this afternoon, but certainly enough to affect things. Hansen staying put at second, so now it is Getters with Hansen in scoring position, low for a ball.
Number 1, Sam Malika.
Happy to be here on the east side. This one swung, fouled, up and out of play down the third base side. 2-2 the count. So huge kudos to Tom Ringdahl, Paul Fournier, our entire crew braving the elements. I'm here in the nice cushy booth. The rest of the crew working hard to bring you this Battle of Bloomington here very early in the season. 2-2 to Malika, swung and a couple of bounces over to Will Vogel at second, and an easy put away for the second out of the inning. So now Pinette, who popped out to first to end the Jaguar first. Jefferson's batted around here in the second. Check swing, foul, and out of play.
Someone on that. Someone on that.
Kennedy will be back in action on Thursday. So you can imagine it's always a condensed schedule here in the spring, but pretty much games every other day for these teams to start the season. Looks like a better forecast after today, warming up a little bit. Certainly nowhere near we had with the weather we had a couple weeks ago, but at least temperatures upper 40s or 50. That's certainly fine. One-on-one, look out. Did that get a piece of Littman? Somehow no. Or Panett, excuse me, somehow not. Those hit by pitches will sting a little bit more with the temperatures outside right now. 2-1 the count. Panett swung on and missed, 2-2. A little bit of a Houdini act there for Panett. It did look like it missed him, or if it did graze the jersey, not enough to draw the attention of the umpire. That one does hit Panett.
Number 28, Sean Littman.
So Littman back up again here in the second. He started everything with a walk. So now 5 hits, 4 walks, and a hit batsman, along with 2 errors for Jefferson. A lot happening in 2 innings. That's why they have a 6-0 lead, tossing a grand slam as well. As Panett takes his lead off of first, he'll go. And Schmidt bobbled it, so no play at second. The 3rd Jaguar stolen base. That certainly seems to be the strategy here for Jefferson, is to run early and often on Schmidt. So in scoring position, Panett. I went in there, 1-1. Littman and then Cruzan if this Jaguar second continues. Grounder to shortstop. Manning. Bad throw off the line. Panett will score. Down to second, Littman. And the inning continues. So it's an E6 on Sean Littman, and it's 7-0. So Cruzan doubled to left earlier this inning, came around to score on that grand slam. That'll go as an unearned run. And the pitch is low. 1-0 to Cruzan. Littman at second.
How you doing? Fine. Okay.
And also low, maybe a little inside as well. 2-0. Good count here for Cruzan. Been 2-0 count. Pitch fouled off the leg of Cruzan. Coach Gass over for a look. These will sting a little bit more, and unlike the MLB players, they all wear those shin guards. Situations just like that, as Cruzan has to fight this off and walk it off for a minute. testing out that swing to see if he can plant on that lead foot. So Cruson ready, a 2-1 count. A 7-run second inning for the Jaguars to break this one open. Maybe not done yet, as this one fouled down the first base line. Out of play. Conway runs out of room. 2-2. Check swing, did he go? Or was it on the corner? The home plate umpire says neither. So it'll be 3-2. Scott confused with what happened there. It certainly didn't look like Cruson offered at the pitch. I think the question was it on that corner or not? And the home plate umpire said no. So 3-2, there's the corner on the inside part of the plate for strike 3. So Scott gets his second strikeout to end the second inning. Here's the check swing. And again, it doesn't matter. Everyone wants to talk about bad angles. How far did the wrist go? The only thing that matters is, does the home plate umpire think that the batter offered at the pitch? That's the only criteria. So you can be the judge at home. Didn't look like it from that angle, but in any event, you get the strike 3 on the next pitch, does Scott. But the inning, certainly productive for Jefferson. 7 runs, 4 hits, 3 errors, 1 left on. The highlighter, the grand slam from Bennett McCullough. So we go to the bottom of the second. Kennedy here in a big hole on BEC-TV. All right, back for the bottom of the second. It was a long inning in the top half of the second with Jefferson scoring 7, so we'll see how Cruson comes out here, who did hit twice in that inning, came around to score on that grand slam and doubled, struck out to end the inning. As this one lifted up and out of play. Sam Nicholson to start the Kennedy second. He'll be followed by Will Vogel and Henry Ombori. As Kennedy tries to get back in this one. Pops straight up. Getters is over for a look, as is Panett. It'll be Panett in foul territory for out number 1.
29, Will Vogel.
So now Will Vogel. It's Cruson getting Nicholson to pop it straight up. Good call from Panett. You got a catcher and a pitcher there. You'd love that third fielder to go ahead and take charge of that situation, and it was certainly closest to Panett, so he did just that. Fouled back and out of play, 1-1. Vogel is second baseman for Kennedy. Two and one as it skips by Getters. Opening afternoon for Jefferson here to start its season. Kennedy already with one game in the books. This one lifted into right center field, and it's down for the first hit for Kennedy. Vogel takes the turn. He'll hold up at first. And a well-hit ball there for Will Vogel. Gives Kennedy its second base runner. As Conway walked back in the first, so now Ambori with a man on. If you're Kennedy here, just start trying to stack up as many base runners as you can. Chip away at this lead. Chopped foul right side. Not going to get it back in all in one swing, obviously, and probably not going to duplicate the grand slam that Jefferson had, but one base runner at a time for Kennedy. Still very early in this game. Pretty shallow lead at first for Vogel. The pitch also foul down the first base side for Ambori. Cruson working ahead at 0-2. Chopped foul. Looked like it hit Ambori, still in the box. Ambori a little bit behind the fastball on this at bat so far in the count anyway for Cruson. Did a nice job to foul that one off. See if Cruson goes off speed here at 0-2. This one fisted past Cruson, be a tough play. There's a throw to first in time for the out as Vogel moves up to second. So good range there from Cruson, and he didn't panic, although the ball got behind him. Had plenty of time. And 2 away. Now Kennedy with a runner in scoring position, and Ryan Fortner. First plate appearance for the right fielder. And it gets by Getters. Vogel will move up to third. It's a pass ball. Or, well, that should go as a wild pitch, excuse me. It'll be charged to Cruson. So we'll see if Kennedy can take advantage. Certainly any hit will score Vogel from third now. In there at the knees for a strike. Cruson doing a nice job of keeping those pitches low in the location. Seems to have pretty good command here early on, even with that long delay as Jefferson scored 7 in the top half of the second. Here's the 1-1. Swung on up the middle. Over for a look. McCullough, and it's in time. So a nice play from Bennett McCullough, ranging over to his left. Able to get Fortner to end the Kennedy second. As we go to the third. No runs, 1 hit. 1 left for Kennedy in the second. Jefferson in command as we head to the third here on BEC-TV. Back to start the third. Jefferson leading 7-0 here on BEC-TV. Josh Powers alongside our crew. So glad to be with you here in mid-April for the season opener for Jefferson. Second game of the season for Kennedy, but both these teams early on in this one, certainly a lot to get excited about as Jefferson starts its third inning. You get this Battle of Bloomington on early in the schedule. And probably both teams feel like the season really starting today. As Blake Wanmacher, the hitter for Jefferson, he singled back in the second. Scored on the grand slam, and the next batter who's on deck, Bennett McCullough. Jefferson with 7 runs on 5 hits. New Kennedy pitcher also Zach Zesch, as this one fouled over to third, and Nicholson, a nice play. So he's able to hustle over to his right. So McCullough back up. He walked back in the first, hit that grand slam back in the second. Memorable game already for number 12. Zesch delivers. McCullough into shallow right, and it won't even get to right field. Wynn holds that one up, and easy enough for Will Vogel. Quickly 2 away in the Jefferson third. So Scott exits. He went 2 innings, gave up 7 runs, 5 of them earned, 5 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a hit batsman mixed in for Will Scott. And Zesch working very efficiently here in the third for Kennedy as he gets ahead of Carter Hansen. Hansen 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. That one just off the corner, 1-1. Zesch, we've seen him in the football field as well. This is quarterback on quarterback, if you will. Zesch played quarterback at times for Kennedy. Certainly Carter Hansen did for Jefferson. As that one off speed misses upstairs. 2-1. So certainly 2 guys very familiar with each other doing battle here. Zesch clips the corner. 2-2. Zesch, very good control so far. His misses, if they have been, not been by much. You know he'd love to strike out Carter Hansen here. 2-2. Little low, full count. With 2 outs here quickly in the Jaguar top half of the third. They did all their damage last inning, scoring all 7 runs. Full count pitch off the corner. So Hansen walks for the second time. It's the 5th walk issued by Kennedy, and now David Steffen singled in the first, grounded out in the second. 1 for 2. Zesch, he worked from the stretch anyway with nobody on, so that'll stay the same here as Steffen jumping out of the way somehow of that one.
I don't think we got that.
Nondescript lead over at first for Hansen on the outer half for a strike. Could be a spot where you might send a runner moving here with 2 outs. Instead, it's grounded third base side, down the line for a hit. Heading over to third is Hansen, and he'll hold up there. It'll be a double for David Steffen. So after 2 quick outs to start the third, Jefferson, a walk and then a double down the line, and now 2 on, 2 out for Getters. Getters 1 for 1, reached on an error back in the first, then doubled back in the second to left center field. He would love to do that again here in the third. bring home a couple of more Jaguars. Steffen now with 2 hits for Jefferson. 1-0 to Getters. In the dirt, nice stop by Schmidt to save a run. Two-0 pitch, Getters grounder to second. And Vogel, the easy play. Jefferson leaves 2 more on base here in the third. That's 5 runners left on in total for Jefferson in 3 innings. That's the bad news. The good news is they scored 7 back in the second. Kennedy gets out of this jam, but Jefferson continues to lead Kennedy 7-0. Bottom of the third coming up next here on BEC-TV.
Jefferson from the radio, Brandon Dexter.
Bottom of the third for Kennedy, trying to chip away at this Jefferson lead, 7-0 here on BEC-TV. Kennedy will go 9-1-2. Gage Schmidt, Nick Manning, and Cole Hauk, and they'll face a new Jaguar pitcher, Braden Bender, the lefty, taking the mound for the Jaguars. And his first pitch is in there for a strike. So Cruson leaves after 2 very solid innings. No runs, just 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout for Cruson through 2 innings of play here, setting up Jefferson nicely as Bender gets a comebacker. And an easy put away to start the bottom of the third. So now Manning comes up for the second time for Kennedy. He flew out back in the first. Coming in relief, always nice to get that first out and make it an easy out there too for Bender, able to field the ball as well. And that one on the outer half for a strike. Off speed, Manning hits it into left field for a base hit. Second hit for Kennedy. Well done there by Manning. As we'll see Cole Hauk Manning able to muscle that one out into left. So see Manning here. He's the leadoff hitter in the lineup. Could be a spot here where you want to get him moving. You figured he would have some speed. So it's been slashed down the left side and out of play by Cole Hauk. Struck out looking back in the first. It's a little bit trickier as a base runner facing that left-handed pitcher, especially at when you're a runner at first. Is that one down the middle quickly 0-2. It's Bender getting ahead of Hauk. There's the delivery. Hauk into right center field. This is down. Could be extra bases. Manning over to third. Hauk will hold up with a single. But Kennedy back-to-back hits. And they have something going here in the bottom of the third. And now with Conway coming up, the meat of the Kennedy order. This runner Manning checking in with George Walker at third base, getting some instructions. Well hit ball there for Hauk into right center field. A key moment in this game for Kennedy. And that one upstairs to Conway. He walked back in the first. Kennedy has their hitters 3, 4, and 5 due up right now. One out, runners on the corners. They'd love to put up a big old crooked number to try to get closer to that 7 Jefferson put up on this in the second inning. Grounded to first, and they cut down the runner at second. Manning does score, so Kennedy on the board, but Jefferson gets a key out there. Conway reaches on the fielder's choice as Hauk is put out at second. Good decision there over at first by Carter Hansen. Go ahead, get the out. Trying to limit that big number as much as possible. Conway gets the RBI for Kennedy, and it's 7-1. So now Will Scott with just the runner Conway on at first. Swung on and missed on an off-speed delivery. Pretty healthy lead over at first by Conway. Look out inside, but turning away from that is Scott. 1-1. Clearly Scott, no longer the pitcher for Kennedy, but batting fourth in the lineup. You know he's one of their better hitters, so they leave him. They want his bat up there still. See that pretty big lead jumping back quickly. Conway, Scott lifts it into deep left field. Scott, will this be gone? It's off the wall. Here comes Conway, will easily score. It's a double for Will Scott. And it's 7-2. That got over the head of Blake Wanmacher. Will Scott crushes this very nearly in the same spot as McCullough did earlier for that grand slam. This one just a couple of feet shorter. But certainly does the job for Kennedy as Conway can coast in from there. So an RBI double for Scott, now 2 outs. Nicholson up. Up and away. Nicholson into left center field. Wanmacher over, and he can't make the play. Nicholson headed for second. Scott scores. Back-to-back doubles. Kennedy now 7-3, trailing by just 4. As Nicholson puts a charge into that high fastball. Yep. He thought, like I did, Wanmacher was going to be able to get there, and he just couldn't quite make the play. Nicholson probably couldn't have made it to third anyway, although he did slow up a little bit. RBI double. And Kennedy still with another runner in scoring position now for Vogel, who singled back last inning. So some momentum right now for the Eagles. Oh, misses low, 2-0. Off the end of the bat, slow roller to second. Up with it in plenty of time, Steffen for the third out of the inning, but Kennedy getting back into this game with a nice third inning for them. 3 runs, 3 hits, they leave 1, but they nearly cut the Jaguar lead in half as Vogel makes the third out of the inning, but a big number for Kennedy. They get 3, and it's 7-3 as we head to the 4th here at Red Haddocks Field. Back for the 4th here at Toro Field inside Red Haddocks Stadium. Josh Powers alongside our crew. Jefferson scoring 7 in the top half of the 2nd. Kennedy 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. So here we are starting the 4th. And it's Sam Malika who squares to bunt and pulls back. Zach Zesch back for his 2nd inning. Did not allow a run in his 1st inning. Although did give up a couple of hits. Correction, just 1 hit. That was that double by Steffen. Be Malika, then Pinette, and then Littman, the scheduled hitters for Jefferson here in the 4th. Is that one right down the middle? Malika 0 for 1, a walk and a ground out. And a healthy cut, but a miss. 2-2. Jefferson 7 runs on 6 hits. as Malika lifts it into left field. Ambori over, and he can't get there. It falls in between Hauk and Ambori. And a leadoff double. Actually trying to stretch this to a triple. Malika in there as he turns on the Jets. A leadoff triple for the Jefferson Jaguars here to start the fourth. Just couldn't have placed that any better if you're Jefferson, right in between Ambori and Hauk. And watch Malika on the dead sprint from the moment that left the bat. No admiring in that one, and that allowed him to be able, as he checks Jim Guess, turns on the Jets right there. That little bobble there by Hauk, allowing Malika to get over to third with that leadoff triple as Panette takes a strike. Panette 0 for 1. A pop-up and was hit by a pitch. It's back in the second. 1-1 the count here.
How many more innings are there? 3?
Zesh working from the stretch as he does, regardless if runners are on or not. 2-1 count. And also a little upstairs, 3-1. And Sean Littman on deck. And another walk. This is the second walk issued by Zesh and the 6th overall. Walk issued by Kennedy. So now runners at the corners, nobody out. And after getting 3 back in the bottom of the third, Jefferson trying to get some of those runs back in short order here in the fourth. As it's Littman, who has not recorded a plate appearance in this game, a walk and reached on an error as the runner from first goes, and they'll throw it right back to Zesh. So advancing on runners in difference there, Panette after that walk. 3 stolen bases for Jefferson in this game, not one of them, but does put runners on second and third with a 1-1 count now to Littman. Cruson on deck. Remember, Cruson doubled back in the first inning. This one lifted up the right side and out of play, 1-2. Be a key out here if Zesh could get it. One and 2 to Littman. 2 men on. Jefferson threatening in the fourth as it's grounded foul, third base side. And Littman foul tip. So we'll see another 1-2 pitch as Littman just got a piece of that. Love our replays here early on in the season. Saw that check swing earlier, that one Schmidt off the end of his glove. 1-2. That one low, 2-2. Cruson on deck. Jefferson looking for more here and extending the lead back. Great stop by Schmidt. That was not easy. He smothered that with the glove before he could really even get the body over there. Watch Schmidt reaching across. That was well done. Look how... Here's the 3-2 as this one Popped up shallow right field. Fortner over, and he won't be able to get there. Another run scores for Jefferson as Malika trots home. And an RBI single for Littman, and it's 8-3. First hit of the game for Littman. Not the hardest hit of balls, but it found the right spot in front of Fortner. See, tagging there was Malika, and once that dropped, was able to go ahead and trot home. Moving up to third, Pinette. And George Walker to the mound. Kennedy on its second pitcher. Will Scott started the game, went the first two. Gave up 7 runs, 5 of them earned, and now Zesh giving up his first earned run here in his second inning of work. Only center fielder there, Cole Houck for Kennedy. Eagles just came off of 3 runs in the bottom half of the third, clawing their way back in it, but Jefferson threatening to get all those back. Already 1 in with runners on the corners and nobody out. And it's Alex Cruson. Doubled in the first, struck out looking in the second. Pinette on third, Littman on first. So he'll fake the throw over. Remember, Jefferson just went for the straight steal the last time they had runners on the corners, so Kennedy trying to see if they could bait Littman off first and get an easy out. This one away from Schmidt. The runner at third will hold up, so Schmidt did enough. Got enough of it. Jefferson didn't want to risk it over at third with nobody out. You can't really blame him there. But hate to make the first out of the inning at home plate, so they'll play it safe. Meanwhile, Littman easily moving up to second. See Schmidt just getting enough of that to make Jefferson think about it over there at third base. So now second and third, and that one in there for a strike to Cruson. Alex can really do some damage here. The 1-1. Back up the middle, base hit. Pinette will score. Littman will check in at third. Now he's going to try to score. The throw to the plate, cut off. Up to second. Goes Cruson. Good aggressive base running by the Jaguars. It's an RBI single for Alex Cruson as he sends it right back up the middle. And a 2 RBI single at that. Littman scores for the 3rd time in this game. It's Jefferson. They get those 3 back at 10-3. Still nobody out. And it's Blake Wanmacher. 1 for 2, a single and a pop-up. Cruson off a second. Look out. That hit Wanmacher. Doesn't matter if it hits you on the fly or the bounce. It all counts the same. Wanmacher tried to jump over the top of that, but hit off the dirt and hit him. Immediately dead from there, so he reaches for the 2nd time. Second hit batsman issued by Kennedy. And we're back at the top of the order. Bennett McCullough. A walk and a grand slam and a ground out. It's been an eventful afternoon for Bennett McCullough. Already his 4th plate appearance here in the Jefferson 4th. And this one hit high in the air to deep left center field, and over his center fielder Hauk for the catch. Cruson and Wanmacher stay put. One away here in the top half of the fourth. McCullough tried to duplicate his grand slam. One's going to be able to do that. Only 2 runners on this time, but this one a little bit higher, not quite as far as his grand slam earlier. So now Carter Hansen with 2 on and 1 out. Oh, for a ball. Carter Hansen 0 for 1, a strikeout and 2 walks. See Cruson scampering back. Kennedy has already picked off 1 Jaguar from second base. That was McCullough back in the first inning.
Yeah, I was trying to warm up my leg a little bit.
Hansen smashes it deep right field, and it's over the head of Fortner and all the way to the wall. Cruson will score. Wanmacher chugging around third. Into third with a triple Carter Hansen, and it's 12-3. Hansen got all of that one. A 2 RBI triple. And a good jump by Wanmacher, easily able to score all the way from first. So 12-3, and now David Steffen. One out runner on third. There's a chopper to third over the head of Nicholson. Carter Hansen will score. Steffen wide turn at first. He'll trot back. Tough one there for Nicholson. We'll go ahead and give Steffen a hit, as it might have been over his glove. Hansen scores for the second time, 13-3 Jefferson. And it's Getters, cleanup hitter. Swung on, fouled. Getters 1 for 2, a ground out, but also a double, and reached on an error. And the 10-run rule, by the way, is in effect here in the high school game. Now the team trailing has to bat 5 times, so we're still a ways away from that, but Jefferson has it on the number right now. So you watch this one by Steffen, a high chopper. Be tough to give Nicholson an error there, as it was close to being over his glove, if not over his glove. Give the hitter the benefit of the doubt there. Getters on the ground to second. Could be 2 if they hurry. The throw to second. Out there. Not enough time to throw her to first to get Getters, but Kennedy does cut down the runner Steffen at second for the second out of the inning. So Getters reaches on a fielder's choice, and the Jaguars have batted around for the second time. It's Malika up again for the second time this inning, and a good call there. Certainly Kennedy was able to get Steffen. Good look by our crew to slow that one down. Malika started this inning with a leadoff triple as they throw over to first to try to get Getters. Big lead over there for Benny. Jefferson with 11 hits. There goes Getters. And it gets a little bit away from Schmidt. There'll be no throw. It was a stolen base there for Getters. One 0 count to Malika. Swung on, fouled right side. Hit to second. And Vogel up with another putout. That'll end the Jaguar fourth, but not before another big inning for Jefferson. 6 runs, 5 hits. They leave 1. And Jefferson now by 10 as we head to the bottom of the fourth here on BEC-TV.
Kennedy in between Noah Cadet. Batting for Kennedy, number 12, Jake Whiteman.
Back here in the bottom of the fourth, Jefferson. A big lead, 13-3 on 11 hits for Jefferson. They've had extra base hits galores, handful of doubles, a couple of triples, a grand slam for the Jaguars. It's been a great start to its season. Still time for Kennedy, but Jefferson 6 outs away here as they lead by 10. With that 10-run rule looming, if they can get through the bottom of the fifth with still a 10-run margin, that'll be it. As I believe Noah Panett is the new pitcher for Jefferson. There's Noah, his first inning of work. And it's 1-2 now. And this one fouled back and out of play. Henry Ambori, the batter for Kennedy. Here's the 1-2 down the middle, called strike 3.
Number 18, Ryan Fortner.
So the first strikeout for Noah Panett. And Ryan Fortner, the batter. Third strikeout for Jefferson's pitchers today. One each for Crusan, Bender, and now Panett. As this one right down the middle. This one lifted down the third base side and running out of room. The Jaguar third baseman. Now it's not Panett, he started at third. Is Crusan over at third now for Jefferson. So quickly 0-2. Grounded to second. Easy enough for David Steffen. Quickly 2 down. You're in the Kennedy fourth.
Number 13, Gage Schmidt.
And it's Gage Schmidt. Grounded out back in the third, start the Kennedy third inning where they scored 3. And fouled up and out of play. So Pinette and Cruson switching positions. Remember, Cruson started the game on the mound for Jefferson. Now over at third, Pinette working efficiently here in the fourth. Toward Cruson. Does he have enough room? He does! He makes the catch. So a 1-2-3 inning, our first 1-2-3 inning for any side so far in this game. And Jefferson accomplishing that at the right time. They maintain their 10-run lead as we head to the fifth. Jefferson leading here in the Battle of Bloomington 13-3 on BEC-TV. We're back to start the fifth here at Toro Field, Red Haddock Stadium, east side of Bloomington. Josh Powers alongside our crew. Glad you are with us here very early in the season. It is a snowy, cold Tuesday, but these boys certainly glad to be playing baseball for the first time since 2019 in Battle of Bloomington.
I did teach him.
Jefferson leading 13-3, 7 runs in the second, 4 more in the sixth. Kennedy's won the last 2 Battle of Bloomingtons, both those in 2019, but right now Jefferson certainly threatening that streak. Might even do it in less than 7 innings. Kennedy's going to need to score at least 1 in the bottom half of this inning to keep this game going.
Yes. Hey, we need it, George.
For Jefferson, Noah Pinette, Sean Littman, and Alex Cruson, the scheduled batters. New pitcher for Kennedy, Ryan Fortner, on a 2-1 count. That one upstairs. Zach Zesch has moved over to right field for Kennedy. So Zesch also going 2 innings, as did Will Scott to start things. Zesch allowing 6 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned. This one, Pinette into deep left field. And that is over the head of Ambori for extra bases. Another double for the Jaguars. Panett with his first hit, and now everyone, all batters for Jefferson with at least one hit in this game. So you talk about Jefferson able to be versatile offensively, not just relying on one or two guys here. All 9 Jaguars with a plate appearance in this game have recorded at least one hit. Certainly music to the ears of Jim Guess. It's a nice stop there by Schmidt. He's done that several times today. That keeps Panett at second. So 12 hits now for the Jaguars, but they have spread it around. Here's Littman. This one outside gets by Schmidt. I think he wanted to pull that one back to try to get an outside strike call and paid the price. Moving up to third on the pass ball, Panett. Actually, we have a new Jaguar hitter there, not Littman. Try to see if we can figure out that batter. Brennan O'Brien is the hitter, thank you. We got some of the both sides here in our booth. Brennan O'Brien, the Jaguar hitter, as you see that one getting by Schmidt. Fortner splits it down the middle. 3-1 to O'Brien. His first plate appearance of the year. And a juicy 3-1 count as O'Brien slaps it into left for a base hit. And it's the 13th Jaguar hit, and O'Brien continues that streak as every Jaguar player who's come up to the plate today has had at least one hit, and O'Brien does that in his first at-bat with this RBI single into left field. And it's 14-3. Panett scores for the second time. This throw gets by first baseman Conway and into second O'Brien. Not exactly the place you want to throw to get the runner picked off, but certainly it looked like a catchable one there for Conway. As that breaking ball misses by Fortner, 1-0 the count. And it's Alex Cruson. Been a productive day for him. 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Doubled back in the first, singled back in the fourth, and he's going to have another hit, his third hit. This one into left. O'Brien will check in at third. And the Jaguars have runners on the corners again, nobody out. As Jefferson will send Braden Ebling to the plate for his first plate appearance. So a 3-hit game there for Cruson as he top spins that one into left field. O'Brien just had to hold up momentarily, making sure that wasn't caught by the shortstop. So Ebling now. In this 14-3 game. Scoreboard still has 13-3, but Jefferson already with a run in this inning. Here's a ball into left and tagging O'Brien, and he will score from third. So an RBI sacrifice fly for Ebling. And good work by Ebling. Just got this far enough to allow O'Brien to tag as Ambori not in position to make a throw. So now 15-3 Jefferson. Adding some insurance. Here 2 outs as this one skips by Schmidt. Moving up to second, Cruson. And it's McCullough at the plate. Just one hit, but it was a big one. That grand slam back in the second that really broke this open. It was scoreless at the time. Jump-started this Jaguar offense en route to 15 runs so far. Schmidt will chase this back to the backstop, scampering up to third. Base runner Cruson. Fortner wanted the breaking ball there, but it didn't break at all. Sometimes that happens, especially here. You get ball, maybe a little bit of moisture on it with the snow flurries that have really fallen most of the game. Nothing too heavy, but maybe just enough to bother Fortner there. One out here in the fifth. That ball a little high. So 3-0. On third, Cruson after recording his third hit in this game. Good stop there by Schmidt. But it's ball 4. So McCullough is aboard for the third time. So Carter Hansen, couple of walks, a triple, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. A nice afternoon for Carter Hansen in his debut. Certainly with 15 runs on the board, you can say that about most of the Jaguars here offensively. Chance to do some more damage with runners on the corners and 1 out. Slapped foul. Double, 2 singles, a sacrifice fly, and a walk here for Jefferson in the 5th. That one away to Carter Hansen. Steffen on deck, and Jefferson enjoying a 12-run lead. And again, with that 10-run rule into play, Kennedy right now has to score at least 3 in the bottom half of the inning to keep this one going. That's if Jefferson doesn't score the rest of the inning. There's a nice breaking ball by Fortner in for a strike. 1-2. Lights coming on early here on this dreary, snowy afternoon here in mid-April here on the east side of Bloomington. Strike 3 on the outer edge, and I mean the outer edge. As Fortner gets his first strikeout. Third strikeout for Kennedy pitching, and a key out there for the Eagles. As now 2 outs with runners on the corners for David Steffen. 3 hits in this game, 2 singles and a triple. Might make it 4 as this one's lifted into left, but Ambori's got a beat on it. And he has it for the 3rd out. So Fortner works his way out of a little bit of trouble, but not before the Jaguars get 2 more. On 3 hits, they lead 2, but Jefferson in command. They can close it out in the bottom of the 5th, leading by 12 here on BEC-TV. Back on BEC-TV, Jefferson a chance to close this out here in the bottom of the fifth. Kennedy will need to score at least 3 in this inning as Jefferson leads by 12 alongside our crew. Josh Powers with you. Our first baseball broadcast of the year, and appropriately in the snow here, but snow won't stick. These teams are just glad to be playing here this afternoon, even though it's a bit chillier than normal. And Noah Pinette starting his second inning of work. Retired Kennedy 1-2-3 back in the fourth. Top of the order for Kennedy, Nick Manning, followed by Cole Hauk and Brett Conway, the scheduled hitters for Kennedy here in the fifth. They're going to need to do some damage to keep this one going to the sixth inning as Manning fouls this straight back. 1 for 2 in the game. A fly out in the first and single back in the third. Came around to score. Did Manning, one of 3 runs Kennedy put up in their third inning. This one low. 2-2. Cruson pitched the first 2. Bender pitched the third, and now Pinette trying to close it out here as he gets Manning looking for strike 3. Just the third strikeout for Jefferson's pitchers here in this one, but that one bending in beautifully to freeze Manning. And now Hauk waves at that one. Kennedy's next game will be their first road game. St. Louis Park on Thursday. They'll play Washburn on Saturday. Monday against Highland Park. Little roller foul. Jefferson getting its season going here today and certainly starting it with a bang. So not quite in the books yet, but there's another breaking ball for strike 3 called. Pinette starting to settle in here for the Jaguars. His third strikeout, and now Conway, the last chance here for Kennedy. Conway 0 for 0, a fielder's choice and a walk earlier for Brett. Need to reach base again to keep this one going. Two and 0 with Will Scott on deck. Had that double back in the third. One of the harder hit balls for Kennedy here in this one.
Same, here we go. Here we go.
Pinette bringing some heat here. Two-one, good count here for Conway. On the outer half, 2-2, so Jefferson a strike away from winning the Battle of Bloomington for the first time since 2018. That one misses, so a full count for Conway. It's been quite the wait for Jefferson in this battle. Bloomington did not play a year ago, lost them both back in 2019. Here's the full count, breaking ball again, but this one misses. Pinette was going for 3 punch outs all on breaking balls, but that one misses low. So it's a walk to Conway. The inning continues for Kennedy. So it's Will Scott. Just the second base on balls issued by Jefferson pitching in this game. That's certainly been important to limit the Kennedy base runners. Jefferson has walked 7 times in this game by contrast. Scott grounded out in the first, doubled in the third. And this one lifted first base side. And calling for it and having it, Carter Hansen to end this one. A Battle of Bloomington win for the Jaguars in convincing fashion. They beat Kennedy for the first time since 2018 in a run rule game. 15-3 the final scores. The Jaguars got that grand slam by Bennett McCullough to jumpstart their day back in the second and did not look back from there. They scored 7 times in the second, added 6 more in the fourth, and a couple more in the fifth. And what a debut for Jim Guess and the Jaguars, as Alex Cruson, Braden Bender, and Noah Panette combining for Jefferson, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits. Meanwhile, Jefferson, 15 runs, 14 hits. Did things offensively, did Jefferson. Certainly defense was strong, solid pitching for the Jaguars too. Just 2 walks issued in the game. And no errors for the Jaguars as well, as they win this one by a count of 15-3. The memorable hit, certainly Bennett McCullough, that grand slam for the Jaguars. What a way to get your first runs of the year, coming on a grand slam. That's what Jefferson did in this game, and it was pretty easy from there as they win it by a dozen. These teams will play again on May 3rd over at Dred Scott. Hope you enjoyed this Battle of Bloomington as Jefferson takes it for the first time since 2018. 15-3 our final. For our entire crew, this is Josh Powers saying so long here from Red Haddock Stadium.